Hello everyone and welcome to another beer review. Now today we're back on the Scottish series because we've got a lot of beer still to get through, and we've got one of a mountainous kind of beer today. So we've got a golden ale from, it's supposed to be a continental style, so they say, and it's from the Cairngorm Brewery. Now Cairngorms is a kind of a mountainous national park in Scotland, up near kind of Aviemore and Granton in Spain, things like that, if you want to kind of look at it in the map. And I used to spend quite a lot of time there as a kid, and I managed not to spoil it actually, but yes, I used to go there quite a lot for holidays. I had relations up there, so Cairngorms was always a favourite place to go when I was younger. So yeah, so apparently we've got Cairngorm Gold, continental style, it's 4.5%, it's a 500ml bottle, it's a product of Scotland. And does it say anything else? Has it got any spiel on it? Oh, there is. Cairngorm Gold, a golden coloured, light-bodied, continental style beer. Saz hops providing an initial fresh and zesty flavour, with Styrian Bobek providing late aromas. Now, one thing about the Styrian hops, they're usually used quite a lot for bittering. So they are. So it'll be interesting to see what that is. And of course it contains wheat and barley, and it does say Cairngorm National Park on the back there. But yes, so it's a Cairngorm brewery, and funny enough, it's in Aviemore. There you go, Aviemore in Scotland. Right, so, oh no, not again. I thought I've got everything all sorted, I'm all prepared, and I forgot the bloody bottle opener again. Right, back in a minute. Oh, you're good. Bloody idiot, so yeah. Where is it? Come here, you. Right. That went well, didn't it? Right, let's crack it open and see what it tastes like. I just have to let me pop it with my teeth. It's not bloody easier. Right. I'm actually doing a few reviews here, and I just took the top off the bottle there and then picked up another bottle to try and pour it. I really am losing the plot. Right, anyway, let's get it poured. And hopefully, this will be better than some of the mainstream piss water we've had to suffer from Scotland. Oh, I'm getting smells here, I'm getting aromas, which is good. Drop it on the floor. Going well. Come on. Oh, there we go, finally. Right, so I'll give you an idea of what it looks like. Nice and golden. And yeah, I'm getting some light floral hops. I'm getting some grain, and I'm getting some just very, very light malty smells as well. It's a light malty sweetness. And there we go. So, let's see what it tastes like. Right. Kind of a bit strange actually. It's definitely got the malty sweetness to start with. Yeah. There's a wee bit of zestiness to it, just a little bit. But I'm getting some other flavours, really. Kind of strange. The malty sweetness is quite a predominant flavour from front to back, I would say that, and it's definitely prevalent in the aftertaste. But I'm just trying to get my mouth kind of acclimatised before I start breaking down the flavour, so I'll take another couple of sips and we'll see what it's like. But yeah, if you've never been to Scotland, which funnily enough quite a few people haven't over the years, from the UK I'm talking about, I'm not talking about from any other country, but there's quite a lot of people that have never been to Scotland. But I would recommend, it's one of the most picturesque areas to go. to visit is the Aviemore, Granton and Spey area, and there's a nice railway that goes up the side of the Cairngorms, which is nice. It takes you to the kind of the plateau at the top, which is quite nice to see, and a lot easier than walking. And there's a lot of nice kind of lakes round about the area as well. Lake Morlich is or Loch Morlich is a good one, and it's got nice sandy beaches as well, so it's kind of interesting. And of course it's also home of the Osprey, so I'm doing really well here for the tourism here. But yes, I would say if you're going to go and visit Scotland, you've got to make time to go and visit up towards the kind of Cairngorm area, because it's quite nice, and there's some good history as well, but it's some nice nature and some nice walks and things like that, so I would definitely recommend it, and some nice fresh air as well. But yes, let's try and see what this is like. Right, okay, so it starts off with a malty sweetness, so it does, right at the start. A little hint of grain, and just a little bit of zestiness, a little bit of hop zestiness. Moves on to the kind of mid-tongue. You're getting a little bit more hop zestiness, but again, it's very, very light. And you've still got this underlying malty sweetness there, and you've just got little accents of grain, and that's what's going on in the kind of mid-tongue. Moves on to the aftertaste. The kind of zestiness is ever so slightly bittering, ever so slightly, but again, it's just so light you can almost miss it. But again, you still have this underlying malty sweetness, and you also have this little accents of grain again. So again, it's just a kind of the petering out of the kind of mid-tongue really is your aftertaste. But the constant all the way through is this very kind of light malty sweetness, which is quite nice and quite pleasant. So it is. But there's a bit of bitterness there, ever so slight, but it's very, very light, really very light. Just like what you're getting from the... Just sit down. I'm trying to work out. It seems to be very low today. I might have to adjust everything, because it just feels that I'm... There we go, that's me getting closer to the top. But yeah, about the beer, it's very subtle with the hop flavours, very, very subtle, and it'd be quite easy to miss them, to be totally honest. So yes, it's quite a nice beer. There's a nice malty sweetness, like I said, but the flavours aren't particularly strong. But it's quite a nice beer, and it's quite easy to drink. It's got a nice mouthfeel. Well, yeah. It's got a little bit of zestiness to it, got a little bit of bitterness, but again, everything's done in a very kind of scaled down, very subtle manner. But in general, from a session point of view, if you looked at it as more of a kind of a session golden ale, then yes, you could really get wired into this quite easily. And yeah, I would say it's a kind of an alternative to a lager if you wanted, from that point of view. If you wanted something that's just a little bit more flavoursome than a lager, then this is it. If you want to compare this to kind of more traditional kind of English golden ales, then in general they usually have a bit more flavour to them. But this is actually quite nice. It's quite light to drink, so if you didn't want something too flavoursome, then this would probably be a good option. What would I give this out of 10? Well, there's a question. For a golden ale, it's just probably maybe lacking a little bit of flavour from that point of view, and that kind of marks it down a bit. But for sessionability and drinkability, then it's very nice and very pleasant. You could really have a good session on this quite easily. The problem is, though, would you get a bit sickened by it after a period? You might not. It depends. There isn't enough hop flavours there to kind of sicken you, but you might get a bit tired of the malty sweetness after a period. So again, it's kind of up or down of what you like and what you don't like. On that basis, I'm actually going to give this a 6. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10 just because it's nicely brewed. There's some nice flavour profiles there. The flavours in some ways are quite subtle, but that could help with its drinkability from the point of view of treating it as more of a session ale and something you get really wired in quite easily with. And it's also a nice alternative to, like, say, a lager from that point of view, and it's not too gassy and things like that. So all these points go for it. What goes against it? Well, maybe some of the flavours that are a bit too subtle and they maybe need to be kind of ramped up a little bit just to kind of give it a bit more character and a bit more body, to be totally honest. But in general, if you look at it as, or if you compare it to some of the beers we've already tried from Tennent's and from Belhaven so far, then I would turn around and say this is a lot better than what we've tried so far. So hopefully we'll get even better than this, but it's a better beer than the ones we've tried previously, so that's a good sign. So it's a 6 out of 10. It's 4.5%. It's a 500ml bottle. It's roughly about £2 per bottle, and I got this in Tesco's at the time in Scotland. I don't think you'll probably get it down in England so easily, but you might do. But I would definitely say if you do see it, whether you're in Scotland or not, then give it a go and try it and see what you think. If you like a little bit of malty sweetness, then you won't go wrong with this. So, thanks for watching, cheers, and bye for now.